Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one, between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. With that, let's get over to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with the call from New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And, Coach, we are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And Charles, we've got two teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
And here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their veteran quarterback, the former Purdue Boilermaker. It's Drew Brees.
Total relentlessness of consistency. Almost like a machine. If you watch him in practice after every throw, he resets his feet, visualizes all the other options on a play. So if he has to do it in a game, it's already there, has the muscle memory. I've started calling him AI for artificial intelligence. Whatever a defense does during a game, he absorbs it and then uses it against them as the game moves on.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. They give him a gain of 38.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Ready.
On first down, Brees. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Brees. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Ted Ginn, 37 yards. And the Saints have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Will Lutz on for the point after. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
Big, highly competitive pocket passer, can scan the field to make every throw that you're looking for. Also one of those players that people love to have on the squad in terms of leadership. As he goes, his team will follow.
Winston and the Bucs take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Winston. And no, incomplete. Boy, they took a shot there on the first play, tried to start it out with a bang, but it's 2nd down. And this offense can air it out, and when they do, you have to key on Mike Evans.
And we do think about his catch radius first and foremost. A tall, lean receiver, but he actually can make some agile plays as well.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Tackled there by Alex Anzalone. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun, it's Winston. He finds Humphries. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A Buccaneer 1st down as Winston hooks up with Humphries. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get up.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. Demario Davis. Tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5. And they brought the pressure there just right up the gut, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. And, you know, when you've got so many different responsibilities as an offensive line, you got to deal with the nose tackle, the 2 defensive tackles or ends, and then sometimes you just can't account for everyone. The linebacker slipped free.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. And oh, his first carry, he loses the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Let's go now. Ready? You wait.
On 3rd down, Winston. And this is going to be incomplete. Good coverage that time by Patrick Robinson.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On 4th down, the Bucs will call on Anger. Brian Anger to punt it away. Back deep for the Saints is Ted Ginn. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And coming up on their 2nd drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, that it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Shotgun now for Breeze. Flushed out right. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 69 yards. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. And Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they just went 4 verts there against cover 2, didn't they?
They did, and it's really an excellent route versus cover 2 because the longer it develops, the more stress is put on the safeties because they're the ones back, each with half the field responsibilities. The corners don't retreat very far in cover 2. They're closer to the line of scrimmage, so now you've got 4 receivers putting pressure on 2 guys covering. Usually you'll find someone open, and that's exactly what they did there. Made the catch and carried it all the way into the end zone.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. 1 play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points get that 0 off the board. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Ready, black, 22.
On 2nd down, Winston again. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First catch there for Evans, good enough for a first down. And that's the first connection, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, finding the number 7 pick in 2014 in Evans.
And what a great target Mike Evans is for Jameis Winston. Winston's a pretty accurate thrower, but that catch radius that Evans provides, that makes him that much more dangerous.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
4 down. Ready, black, 22.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45. When you're down early, how do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. And this will be incomplete. He was trying to find O.J. Howard, and it's 3rd down.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down.
Ready, blue 80.
From the gun, Winston. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. "36 yards on the punt with no return, and the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. Here now, a look at Drew Brees in our player spotlight. He's had one of those games that any quarterback loves, not only being able to complete some passes, but some deep passes.
And it's pretty to watch. I mean, it's an absolute joy to see, but let's face it, we got to give a little bit of credit where it's deserved, right?
Well, the protection's been great, if that's where you're going.
Yeah, protection's been phenomenal, but how about how it's been spotlighted, right? Our producer, Christian McLeod, our director, Kyle Burt, the rest of the crew, what they put together with these images and pictures, if you're an offensive lineman, that's what you're taking with you to contract time.
They're going to have a lot to take to contract time if this continues. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 15. Now Brees rolling to his left. Now he's going to and got his man complete. The 20, 10, touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn, 85 yards. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes the score 21-0. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter. And a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Jameis now on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Alex Anzalone leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. The give is to Jones. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. 9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards, but also like what the runner's giving us too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And before they can run another play, the clock hits triple zeros. And time is up on the first quarter. Can't wait to see what the second quarter has in store. We'll head back to New Orleans after this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out. Working out of the gun, Winston. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Oh, boy, he fielded it right on the goal line. And now running right through it. How about another? Spins past another.
Oh, my man.
Ted Ginn's gonna go. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Saints add on to their lead.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Lutz good on the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. Rodgers on the return. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it. Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards.
Ready. Blue ready.
Now Winston. Throw right side caught by O.J. Howard. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
The Bucs on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4.
Ready. Blue ready.
Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. Now it's Ginn. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here now, a look at Drew Brees in our player spotlight. And really a solid group effort. I mean, the montage focuses on him, and rightfully so, but it's been a good job of a team to get this lead.
Oh, I'm with you totally on that. I love the observation. Offensive line and people having to protect him, they've really been in sync and been on point. How about the guys going out and catching the ball? Well, the receivers, the running backs, everyone is involved today. And what we're watching right now is really a beautiful team effort, isn't it?
Absolutely. So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
4 down. Ready.
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. Oh, and now he bowls him over. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
Ready.
Brees to throw on 2nd down. And his throw here's incomplete. Chris Conte right there to break that one up.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Everyone's got 4. 4 ready.
Brees now to throw. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. Buying time to his left. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 4th down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10.
Not sure I agreed with the decision to go for it, but I definitely agree with his decision to run it. He picked up that big 1st down. I think he let his head coach off the hook.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's anybody more happy than the quarterback picking it up, it's the coach that saw him pick it up. Two minutes to go here in the 1st half. We're back to New Orleans after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this 1st half of action. first and 10. Here's Breeze. An incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10.
Ready. We're waiting.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down. Ready. Yellow lady, yellow lady. Ready, let's go.
This is Ingram on first and 10. And shedding through the tackle. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
A handoff. It's Mark Ingram. And now running right through it. And spinning now. Shreds him with it. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Mark Ingram, 39 yards. And the Saints are pouring it on.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Lutz will look to add the extra point. Lutz with the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays, and it's Mark Ingram who caps it off with a touchdown run. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
35 seconds, all that remains in the first half as they come up on first down.
Ready? Blue lady. Boys, head up. Boys, up.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Jones breaking from the contact. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
You don't have to be a finished product to show some pretty good glimpses of what could be in this league, and we just saw an example of it on that nice run there. When I looked at him coming out of college, I saw a guy with raw, terrific ability, and I couldn't wait to see how it was going to be harnessed and polished up in the NFL. In fact, some people thought he could play a little slot receiver as well as run the football. This guy has the ability to be a big-time player with more seasoning. One
play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Ready? Black 22's hot.
A first down throw for Winston. And his throw is incomplete. Marshawn Lattimore right there on the coverage. He was draped all over it.
It's been my observation. There's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock. He was trying to find Deshaun Jackson that time. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Ready? Blue lady.
Jameis to throw it. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down.
Ready? Blue lady. 6 right there. Let's go.
Final play of the half here. Winston. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. It's the safety, Kirk Coleman, and his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
In our game, it was the right arm of Drew Brees that led the way in the first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
4 down. Ready. Blue wave.
On second down, it's Jones. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Ready. Black.
Winston from the gun on 3rd down. He's got Evans. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Jameis now 8 of 17 so far, under 50%.
Ready. Blue wave.
Play action now, Winston. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Alex Okafor in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Four down. Ready. Blue waiting. Where's that up?
A give to Jones. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
1st and 2nd down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big.
Ready. White 25. Let's go.
Here's Winston. Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
Who?
You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly
That-
clear
that is
by the
one
time we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
Ready.
They'll try to get the ground game going with Ingram. Oh, able to avoid him. How did he stay on his feet? A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line.
Ready? You ready? Watch 9, watch 9.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Mark Ingram, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Lutz good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. Rodgers on the return. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
Evans has it left side. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
Ready? Black 25.
Jones. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ready? Black 22.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Nothing in that first half, nothing on the last drive, but they're moving now with a 1st and 10.
Ready. Blue ready.
They go play action here on 1st down. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Ready.
They'll run it with Jones. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
The Bucs on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 14.
Ready. White 25. White.
To throw, Winston. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
Winston now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Ready.
Here's Jones. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Keep bringing it. Stay in there. 4 down. 4 down. Ready. Blue ready.
Again, it's Jones. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes if you got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 7.
Ready. Blue ready. Where's that?
This is Jones. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the 4th quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't they?
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. And now running right through it. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Hey, ready? We're waiting.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. In on the stop, Vernon Hargraves. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Ingram again. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. Here's Ingram. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Time for a break. This one all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes.